My name is Randy, and welcome to Life by Randy, a journey into joy. And what this episode is about is just that, joy, doing something just for the sheer joy of it. If you're not familiar with my story of healing from a stage 4 disease, you can read more at lifebyrandy.com. And why this isn't a channel about healing necessarily from a disease diagnosis, it's about journeying into joy and journeying into joy so that we could then enjoy our life so much more, raise our frequency, our vibration to the frequency of joy. You see, we are all energetic beings and we reverberate with this amazing universe through energy and frequency. And energy and frequency does have healing vibrations for anything, healing diseases of the mind, negative thinking, toxic thoughts, toxic thinking, right? And we can really heal and live the life that our Creator designed our lives to be, so that not only we can show up for this life in joy, but then our cups will overflow with goodness and joy, and we'll have so much more to give to our relationships and humanity at large. Humanity is hurting right now, and I think we could all use a healthy dose of joy. So I'm going to share with you a story first. I have 3 sisters-in-law. Well, really 2 technically, but we really believe that the third one is going to become official and officially be my sister-in-law. But I'm so fortunate to have really amazing, strong women in my life, in my family, my brothers, and through my brothers and my husband. And we all have our journeys. And you can't get to your 50s and 60s without having some texture, right? Without having circumstances and situations on a scale from 1 to 10 and everything in between of what life presents to you, what life throws at you. One of my sisters-in-law, we were just together over the holidays, and she reminded me of a very important life lesson. But she did it with dark chocolate covered cashews from Whole Foods. You see, my one sister-in-law absolutely loves, and I mean loves, the dark chocolate covered cashews from Whole Foods. And the delight on her face when she sees the little box of them at home, or she'll bring it to our home as a gift, as a present. And she selects just the right one she wants, and she carefully and thoughtfully places it in her mouth, and she is just enjoying the dark chocolate melting. And you could just see her really appreciating and enjoying the melting dark chocolate, the silkiness of it, the flavor of it. And as it's melting off the cashew, you see her start to enjoy. It's really quite something. And as the chocolate's melting off, she can then enjoy the cashew and the combination of the two. She takes that one chocolate-covered cashew and savors it and milks it for everything it's worth. And I thought, wow, what a great lesson for all of us with memories. What if we looked back at our memories and cherry-picked just the right ones that gave us that experience of that melting dark chocolate with the anticipation of going into this organic cashew that's the perfect size and the perfect shape and the perfect color? What if we did that with our memories from the past? Instead of going into negative thinking and re-traumatizing ourselves really with bad thoughts, with emotional wounds, with even physical circumstances like a bad accident, or the time you were diagnosed with cancer, or the time you found out your spouse was cheating on you, or any other traumatic situation, or any other negative situation where we want to be unkind to ourselves, beat ourselves up over why we didn't do this at a job, or why I made that choice in in a spouse or a significant other, we know, we've lived life long enough. The list can go on. So what would our lives look like if we just looked into the rearview mirror and really cherry-picked those positive experiences and then savored them, rehearsed them in our minds? Remember what it felt like when we had our first date with who is now our husband or our wife, and the fluttering feelings and the sheer elation and happiness of believing you found your soulmate and then in fact knowing you did find your soulmate. Or that time a test came back that it was really negative and you thought it was positive for something that would have changed your life. Let's rehearse those. And I have a tool in how I rehearse those positive experiences of joy in the past. Remember scrapbooking? If any of you scrapbook, or certainly before cameras were built into phones, we had actually cameras with film, and film that we would send off to the lab and wait in anticipation for getting the photos back, right? We would put those photos in a photo album or be more creative and scrapbook. Well, I did both because I absolutely love preserving those memories and seeing what my history is, both the good and the not so good, the challenging times and the times of ease and comfort. To see it all, because really that's the fabric of life. It's those textured, rich moments of both good times and challenging times that make us who we are and really make life this amazing journey. So what I do is I happen to love the application Mixbook, Mixbook.com. I'll put the link below. Mixbook.com. I happen to love that platform. It's easy to work with for me, and it has a variety of preset options and lots of sizes and different ways that you could commemorate all the experiences in your life. And so I do a couple of different sizes, and what this does for me, I get to not only use a lot of the personal pictures in my phone, because right, we scroll through them, we never get to sit and really open the book and take a look at them as it relates to a story. And it's really the story of our lives and so worth documenting. And so this is what I do in some of my spare time to actually rehearse my history and celebrate my history, celebrate my experiences, and document them. And I also give them as gifts. And so they make tremendous gifts as well. I have made books commemorating my wedding, which will be 3 years ago, February 17th. We got married, my husband and I married in the Rocky Mountains. We eloped, and we had our dear friend Harry marry us, General Harry, and who lives out in Colorado with his wife, Julie. And Julie took about 800 photos of that day spent at a ranch in a very private, very small, simple ceremony. And so what I did was I made photo albums of the pictures and have them as my coffee table books. I actually take screenshots of texts that not only my husband sends me, but friends and family send me that are so meaningful. And so I make a photo out of it. And then I can put them in the book. So what I'm working on now is the screenshots of different texts that friends and family have sent me while I was going through my cancer journey, and all the positivity and the love. And so when I reread those, it conjures up, during a challenging time, it conjures up such wonderful memories. And if I have any residual trauma from what I've been through, and it serves to take the edges off of a challenging situation, it puts a positive spin on it of all the love and support that I received and how people really feel about me and how much they care. And that feels good in here, and that increases my joy. You see, I've got some books as well of travels, which is a fun thing to do. And so you can do what I've done is taken 1 year of my husband's and my travels. We happen to travel a lot one particular year. And so instead of making one book for one trip, I did it by a year, and that way you could see what you actually did in reviewing the year and really how amazing your life is, even in the everyday moments. And speaking to the everyday moments, I also do albums that speak to everyday moments. And here is this quote, which I love, by Robert Brault. "Enjoy the little things in life, for someday you will look back and realize they were the big things." So this is just the everyday moments of life and how wonderful those can be. Everyday moments. And this was 2020, and I was diagnosed at the end of 2020. And so going through this was actually very healthy for me, emotionally and mentally, because there was some trauma involved. And going back was actually not only healthy, but therapeutic. To document my journey of being diagnosed, of seeing how my husband and my brothers and my sisters-in-law and my mother and a few key friends were there for me. And I screenshotted different texts that came in that fed my soul and helped stabilize me during the beginning phases of my journey. A picture of my husband with me at the hospital. And again, these don't traumatize me, they bless me in looking back at my journey. And a white feather that my dear Julie, my soul sister Julie, found in Colorado and had it framed and mailed to me the week of my diagnosis. All those things are such blessings during what's really a traumatic time. So I offer this to you as a tool. If you don't already do this, might I suggest taking a look at Mixbook.com, pulling back some old photos, and if you are traumatized or sad or depressed about things in the past, and quite frankly, we all are to varying degrees, especially these last couple years have been trying and challenging. So if you are listening to this video and you're interested in increasing your joy and living a more healthy, more fulfilling life, congratulations, you are making it through one of the biggest psyops, if not the biggest psyop played on all of humanity. And perhaps as we move through this year, 2022, and might I suggest you take a look at writing your history, and if you don't like what your history said, perhaps you're focusing on the negatives instead of focusing on the positives. So I challenge you to look at the positives, write that in a book, and then rehearse that book and rehearse how those positive experiences, loving and tender moments made you feel, and then stay in that sweet spot of feeling that joy and be more than conquerors in this life, or just for you, to increase your joy and in retrospect, see how amazing your life really is, even down to the everyday moments. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, in gratitude and in joy.